This is Garrett Fry, the construction site sequence lead for 3D digital map painting, and we're taking a look at shot 555. So we take a look, we start over here on the left and we pan to the right. So on this shot we have a big open area in the front of frame that should be filled with construction material right here. And we just have a little bit off here in the distance. So, but the primary area is right here in the foreground, and for this shot there's dirt. And so all of the objects are going to be sitting in the dirt. And if we take a look at what is already on set, we can see that there's some visual cues that helps us understand that these things are actually sitting in the dirt. So for one, you can see that even on this object here, where the lighting direction is coming from this way, and we won't really see a lot of the shadow, but we do pick up a little tiny bits of shadow underneath there. So that makes that thing fit into the shot. So this has it as well. It has little bits of little shadows here, as small as they are. Also, there's rocks. So this particular pipe has dirt and rocks all kind of piled up onto it. And so that's a really nice way of giving a visual cue that what your object that you're adding is actually sitting into the environment. You can see shadows here as well on all of these objects. So we don't have big raking shadows because we happen to be looking in the direction of where the shadow is coming from. And so you can see the shadow is coming from this angle here. And so like the shadow for this porta potty here is actually like directly behind it, so we can't actually see it. But there are little tiny things that you can add to give visual cues like that it's sitting into the ground. Also, when you're placing your objects, it's a good idea to do them in a way that is telling a story and makes logical sense. So if you place a bunch of barrels down there, then why are those barrels being put there? And if you do put barrels, then maybe you should make one that's leaking a little bit, and maybe there's water puddle around some of them. Then that makes a bit more sense than just having a barrel that's isolated by itself. So you have barrels, and you have maybe a little work area out here where people are doing a particular construction task. And that way it kind of helps inform your layout, and it makes it have some logical sense. So you'll want to make sure that you're following the correct perspective when you're doing all of these, and laying out your perspective grid so that you can place these in such a way that looks realistic, because you can have the best lighting and integration in the world, but if it doesn't follow the perspective, then it's never ever going to look right. Before you jump into your shot, it's a good idea to review the library of construction site materials. Do a bunch of quick matte painting tests by dragging photos into your shot and doing quick integrations. You will soon be able to discern the appropriate reference you should use for your shot.